Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host, Ilham Məmmədov. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham held an expanded meeting with President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. On July 20th, President Ilham visited Sumgayit city. President Ilham held an expanded meeting with President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. President Ilham welcomed President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Then, an expanded meeting between President Ilham and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, took place.
Welcome, Madam President. Very glad to see you. Thank you for coming. Your visit really underlines the importance of our bilateral cooperation. We are very glad that the relationship between the European Union and Azerbaijan developed very successfully on the track of bilateral cooperation and also within the framework of Eastern Partnership. And we really have very good achievements and in political development and political contacts are very active. You know that EU is our major trading partner, and I'm sure that the projects which we are planning to implement in the coming years will increase our trade cooperation. And of course, energy cooperation always was on top of our agenda, and today in particular. So I think we have very good results, very good achievements. And after the visit of Madam Commissioner earlier this year, we started energy dialogue. So I think that's also a very good sign of mutual interest. And the issues related to energy security definitely today are on top, one of the top issues on global agenda. But not only that, we're interested in expanding cooperation in the area of education, area of transportation, and in all areas. Actually, what we are now discussing with respect to the new agreement between EU and Azerbaijan covers all areas of our potential cooperation. I'm sure that during your visit, we'll discuss this and other issues. Also, we have a very important ceremony today, which will also mark, I think, the beginning of new broad cooperation in energy. Welcome. Wish you a pleasant stay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the warm welcome here. And indeed, as you said, we have a long-standing partnership, the Eastern Partnership, but specifically with Azerbaijan, also an excellent relationship that we want to deepen now. If you look at the Memorandum of Understanding that we are signing today, I first of all really want to commend the two of us, but mainly building on an excellent work that has been done by our collaborators for achieving this MOU. It puts an emphasis on a reliable partnership in the energy sector, and it also looks forward towards the mid and long term with an emphasis on renewable energy. So it encompasses all that we are discussing in detail today, but of course there's more than the MOU, as you said, the agreement between Azerbaijan and the European Union. We just discussed with the foreign minister, we should give it a push now so that we move forward. A lot to discuss, and many thanks again for the warm welcome.
Thank you.
After the expanded meeting, a memorandum of understanding on strategic partnership in the field of energy between the Republic of Azerbaijan and the European Union, represented by the European Commission, was signed between Azerbaijan and the European Union. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, signed the document. Then President Ilham and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, made press statements. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham received a delegation led by Chair of the European Parliament's Committee on Foreign Affairs, David McAllister. Welcoming the guests, President Ilham said that last time he met David McAllister was back in 2017. saying that this visit was a bit of surprise because of the position of some of the European parliamentarians against Azerbaijan. The other state added that this position was completely groundless, noting that many anti-Azerbaijani resolutions were adopted by the European Parliament. The other state added that this was of particular concern because one of the resolutions which was adopted after the Patriotic War states the destruction of the Armenian cultural heritage in Karabakh, and this is a lie. Noting that after the war, representatives of foreign embassies, speakers of some of the European parliaments and journalists made multiple visits to Karabakh, and they also complete destruction of the Azerbaijani cultural heritage and did not see the destruction of any Armenian cultural heritage, the other state added that, on the contrary, the Armenian heritage was preserved both in Baku and in Karabakh. 65 out of the 67 mosques were destroyed by Armenian Karabakh, and nobody mentioned that. They kept cows and pigs in our mosques and razed to the ground our cities and villages. Touching on the visit of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, to Azerbaijan, the head of state emphasized that there had been excellent discussions, and this further testified to the importance of bilateral relations between Azerbaijan and EU. Noting the personal involvement of the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, in the process of normalization of relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia, the head of state added that already 3 trilateral meetings between himself and Prime Minister of Armenia, with the mediation of Charles Michel, took place. Thanking President for receiving them, Chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the European Parliament, David McAllister, said they would visit Georgia and Armenia after they complete their visit to Azerbaijan. President Ilham Aliyev touched on the visit of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and assessed the results of the visit as positive. President Ilham Aliyev also stated that the Memorandum of Understanding on Strategic Partnership in the field of energy was signed with Ursula von der Leyen. During the course of the conversation, the sides noted that the relations with the EU were successfully developing in all areas, and noted the importance of expansion of cooperation with all the institutions of EU based on mutual understanding. President Ilham Aliyev received President of the International Judo Federation, Marius Vizar. Saying that he was pleased to welcome Marius Vizar to Azerbaijan, the head of state noted the support by the International Judo Federation to the development of judo in Azerbaijan. President Ilham Aliyev highlighted the recent achievements of Azerbaijani judokas, emphasizing their more successful participation in international tournaments and pointing out the developments in the Azerbaijani Judo Federation. Underlining the importance of the recommendations given by the International Judo Federation regarding the sport in Azerbaijan, the other state mentioned that it contributed to the development of judo in Azerbaijan, especially enhancing the interest of the young generation in the sport. Marius Vizar noted with satisfaction that Azerbaijan was an active member of the International Judo Federation and hailed the successful bilateral cooperation. President of the International Judo Federation highly appreciated the attention to the development of judo in Azerbaijan. On July 19th, President Ilham Aliyev received Minister of Family and Social Services of the Republic of Turkey, Derya Yanık. Derya Yanık conveyed the greetings of the President of the Republic of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, to the head of state. President Ilham Aliyev expresses gratitude for the greetings and asked to convey his greetings to Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The head of our state recalled with pleasure the telephone conversation with the President of Turkey on July 15th, the Day of Democracy and National Unity. Noting July 15th as a historic day, President Ilham Aliyev reiterated that the Turkish people had come out of this difficult trial with honor, through the efforts and leadership of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and emphasized the fact that Turkey is currently on the way to development, and that stability reigning in the country was to the delight of our people. Expressing her gratitude for the kind words, the guest expressed a great satisfaction with being in Azerbaijan and once again emphasized that she was very delighted with the Karabakh victory thanks to the leadership of President Ilham Aliyev. The head of our state said that Azerbaijan-Turkey unity and friendship had come out of all trials with honor. Referring to the visit of the delegation led by Derya Yanık to Shusha, President Ilham Aliyev noted that our relations reached the highest level after the signing of the Shusha Declaration. The President of Azerbaijan stated that the signing of this document in our holy city of Shusha was of particular importance. Then the head of state noted with pleasure that he and the President of Turkey will participate in the opening of the Zengilan airport. President Ilham Aliyev emphasized that our friendly and fraternal relations were developing successfully in all fields and expressed confidence that Derya Yanık's visit will contribute to the expansion of cooperation between the relevant institutions of our countries. On July 20th, President Ilham Aliyev visited Sumgayit city. Sumgayit received the city status 73 years ago, and the expansion of the industrial infrastructure began here with the establishment of large chemical and metallurgical enterprises. Currently, Sumgayit is the second largest industrial city in the South Caucasus. One of the main directions of the President's economic policy is the rapid development of the non-oil industry. In this regard, the application of progressive mechanisms compatible with the requirements of economic development of the modern era The creation of industrial zones is of particular importance. There are already 31 residents at the Sumgayit Chemical Industrial Park, which is the first industrial park in Azerbaijan and the largest in the South Caucasus. So far, about $3.1 billion have been invested in the industrial park by residents. 17 out of 31 registered residents are already active. With the opening of Glassic, a closed joint stock company, and Azər Sulfat LLC, the number of enterprises operating in Sumgayit Chemical Industrial Park has reached 19. Another resident of the industrial park, Aztec Import LLC, will implement a project for the production of Iveco light, medium and heavy tonnage trucks and vehicles of special designation with the application of advanced Italian technologies. 90 people will be provided with permanent jobs within the project with an investment value of 19.2 million manats. On January 18, 2021, the head of state laid the foundation of Azər Sulfat LLC sulfuric acid production plant. The enterprise will produce a sulfuric acid product used as a cleaning agent in the chemical industry, metallurgy and oil industry. Azərbaycan One Ceramics Co. LLC, a resident of Sumgayit Chemical Industrial Park, will build a ceramic tile production plant on 22.8 hectares of the industrial park. The plant will produce high-quality ceramic tiles of various sizes with the application of advanced Chinese technologies. Maps Bilgi Teknolojiləri LLC will implement the project organization of a research and development center, cartographic and navigation services on the territory of 1.5 hectares area of the industrial park. LLC will build a 7-story business center that will offer various services in the industrial park. During the presidency of İlham, the concept of turning Sumgayit into an ecologically clean modern industrial city was under special attention and new approaches were applied. As part of the reconstruction works, a Victorious Soldier monument was erected in honor of the martyrs of the Patriotic War. As part of reconstruction works, a monument was built in the memory of the victims of Khojaly tragedy. A victory tree was placed here in the memory of the martyrs of the Patriotic War. Sumgait Regional Sun Service Center number 2 is the second center in the city and the 24th center in the country. The project is integrated with the Seaside Boulevard and forms a unity with it.
Ölkə üzrə sadəcə 24-cü Asıl Xidmət Mərkəzinin açılışını etdiyiniz üçün sizə təşəkkür edirik. Mərkəzimiz sabahdan vətəndaşlarımızın xidmətində olacaq.
A total of 325 services will be provided by various state bodies, private companies and enterprises in the center. A total of 192 employees and 45 volunteers will work here, including other state bodies. Sumgait Regional Sun Service Center number 2 is expected to provide services to about 700,000 citizens registered in Sumgait City, Kobustan, Khuzesiyazan and Absheron regions. At the same time, the center will serve citizens registered in other regions of our country without territorial restrictions. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and Prime Minister of the Republic of Bulgaria Kirill Petkov held a one-on-one meeting. Welcoming the guest, President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev thanked him for the opportunity to meet in person, noting that Bulgaria and Azerbaijan are strategic partners. The head of state added that they had signed a relevant declaration relatively recently. Assessing this as a very high level of cooperation, President Ilham Aliyev noted that strategic cooperation covered many areas, including energy security, saying that he was glad that the two countries had established cooperation in the field of energy and there was already a direct line to Bulgaria along the Southern Gas Corridor. The President expressed his confidence that this was long-term cooperation that will have great potential in the future. Prime Minister of Bulgaria Kirill Petkov thanked President Ilham Aliyev for being a true friend during the time of need over the past 6 months and added that this was exactly what friendship should be like, saying that he fully understood that the friendship between the two countries had a long history and covered many fields. The Bulgarian Premier said he learned with great pleasure that even other issues not related to the energy field, technology, information technologies, agriculture, construction could be discussed, saying that Azerbaijan can count on Bulgaria not only bilaterally but also as a member of the European Union. The Bulgarian Premier said if the two countries stick together, the horizons will look very wide and promising. President Ilham Aliyev held an expanded meeting with Prime Minister of the Republic of Bulgaria, Kirill Petkov. Welcoming the Bulgarian Prime Minister and his delegation, President Ilham Aliyev said they had very productive discussions with Prime Minister Petkov and identified opportunities to strengthen cooperation between the two countries. Referring to the declaration of strategic partnership between Bulgaria and Azerbaijan, the head of state said it was about time to convert this document to the practical results of cooperation in the economy, development of industry, trade, energy, transits, tourism and high technologies. Saying that they mainly discuss energy security, President Ilham Aliyev also underlined that considering the projects implemented with the neighboring countries to integrate European and Azerbaijani railway systems and the increased volume of cargoes passing through Azerbaijan, there was a great potential in the field of transportation, and added only in the 5 months of this year, the volume of cargo through Azerbaijan increased by more than 30%. Thanking President Ilham Aliyev, Prime Minister of Bulgaria Kirill Petkov said was happy to meet the head of state in person, saying that everybody is a friend when they share a table, but real friends stick to each other when they have problems. The Bulgarian Premier said that Azerbaijan was by Bulgaria when it needed it, and Bulgaria will always be by Azerbaijan. Kirill Petkov said that a lot of work could be done in such fields as technology, logistics, exports to Europe, and distribution of energy careers. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and Prime Minister of the Republic of Bulgaria Kirill Petkov had a joint working dinner. Now we get to the intrinsic part of our program, full with analytics and commentaries by our guest, international lawyer and political commentator Orhan Omashov. Hey Orhan, glad to see you again. I would like to discuss the circumstances pertaining to the Tory leadership race unfolding in the United Kingdom. As we all know, Boris Johnson was forced to resign from the post of Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Can we perhaps start by taking a glance at how his downfall was orchestrated?
Boris Johnson, I think that one of the greatest British Prime Ministers of the past 10 years. And I think that his journey, his tenure, should have lasted at least decades. And the posterity should have been in a position of remembering the 20s as a golden age of Bourgeois. But here we are. From the very beginning, when he assumed the position of Prime Minister, the attacks mounted against him, but he was absolutely indomitable. Boris Johnson's role in British history is there. It's firmly fixed, entrenched. We remember Brexit campaign. For example, before the Brexit campaign, in Britain, no man in his right mind would have said that UK was going to leave the European Union. But Boris Johnson's role within the campaign, his opposition to David Cameron, ensured that Brexit campaign defeated Stay campaign. And eventually, on the 23rd of June 2016, British electorate voted in favour of leaving European Union. And then there was disarray because Theresa May, who was a reluctant Remainer, a person who not actively campaigned for Remain, but was still Remainer on the side of David Cameron, she failed miserably to pull the strings. And in 2019, there was a chaos in British politics, and Boris Johnson again emerged as a saviour. And he became the leader of the Conservative Party, defeating Jeremy Hunt. And afterwards, he wanted to prorogue Parliament, but it was impossible. And then there was a new general election, the biggest Conservative victory since the time of Margaret Thatcher. Afterwards, he managed to finalise Brexit deal. So Brexit was sheer impossibility, and Boris did it. So that's one thing about him. And also he was a mayor of London from 2008 2016. London is a very Labour-inclined city. It's very difficult for a Tory person to be a mayor there, but Boris achieved it because Boris's fundamental quality is that he's a Tory, of course, but some people, certain segments of the British society were voting for Boris, not because he was conservative, but because he was Boris. He had a persona beyond party politics. And I think that during his tenure, he managed a fantastic job tackling COVID and many other things. His leadership during the Ukrainian crisis was absolutely magnificent. He was the most active leader in the Western world. And what happened? Effectively, those people who strongly believed in Brexit, in particular substantial segments of the British establishment, they have never forgiven Boris for what he has achieved. And the media was involved in it. And Boris Johnson, before the vote of no confidence motion in June, said that let us not dance to the tune of the media. But sadly, what happened, there was a coalition of Remainers, anti-Boris segment, and some scandals like Partygate, Chris Pincher's story. I believe that history has this uncanny propensity to distinguish the substantial matters from trivialities. And in the fullness of time, history will judge Boris Johnson as a great British Prime Minister who achieved things beyond his tenure. And he will go down in the annals of the British history as one of the most consequential, transformative leaders. So I think the campaign mounted against him was completely ludicrous, idiotic, but it is the way British politics are conducted. And Boris fought till the end. But eventually, Parliamentary Conservative Party reacted very swiftly, and eventually he needed to resign. But his defiance stayed in his resignation speech. He said that no one is remotely indispensable in politics, and I think that speaks volumes.
Now that the race has reduced down to two major candidates, Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss are competing for the hot seat. What do their chances look like? Can you please analyze and give us your assessment? How will it turn out?
Yeah, the field has been whittled down to the last two contenders, and it was expected because Rishi Sunak was pretty much safe. He was in the lead, and the major question was whether Penny Mordaunt or Liz Truss would oppose Rishi Sunak at the last stage. Initially, Penny's chances were very high, but I think at a later stage, the Brexiteer segment of the Conservative Party, which is very loyal to Boris Johnson, realised that the candidate who can defeat Sunak is Liz, not Penny Mordaunt. And why Penny Mordaunt is not the right candidate? Because Penny fundamentally lacks top-notch government experience. She was a junior trade minister. There are some allegations that she was absent from department work, probably unfounded. Some people are saying that her policy on transgender matters was flip-flop. So there's a lack of integrity. And I think Ian Duncan Smith recently saying that we do not know very much about Penny Mordaunt. We don't know what her policy is all about, because she looks quite attractive, she's got charisma, she has got gravitas, but we do not know what she stands for. It is very clear that she's a Borisite, although, interestingly enough, probably lots of people don't know that, she was sacked by Boris Johnson as a defense secretary because in 2019, the Tory leadership race, she was on the side of Jeremy Hunt. But this particular moment does not make her anti-Boris. So from that perspective, both Mordaunt and Liz Truss are Borisites. And in this battle, I think at critical juncture, Tory membership needed to respond to two fundamental questions. So first of all, who can defeat Sunak? Because we need to ensure that Sunak must be defeated. And once Sunak is defeated, there could be a new general election. And who can defeat the leader of the opposition, Starmer? So I think that two things should be balanced by the Conservative membership. I've been told on numerous occasions that if Conservative Party were in a position, probably Penny Mordaunt would have been the right choice, because being the leader of the opposition is one thing, being a leader of the Tory Party as Prime Minister are totally different things. I think that in terms of Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, two fundamental factors played an important role. One of them, former I refer to Liz Truss. She's currently the Foreign Secretary, and Rishi Sunak is a former Chancellor. And these people reach the very pinnacle, and they may feel it's their time to shine. Penny Mordaunt, on the other side, has never had a top government job. Junior Trade Minister is an important job, but it is not up to the scratch. And some interesting people were telling me that there are certain anti-Irish sentiments in the British establishment which might have militated against Penny Mordaunt's chances. But I spoke to a couple of members of the Penny Mordaunt team, and they've told me that this is out of the question. The most important thing is that it's a lack of experience. And it seems now that Brexiteer segment of the Conservative Party and those people who believe that Boris Johnson has unfairly toppled are going to gather around Liz Truss. Liz Truss has gravitas. Liz Truss has assumed heightened importance in the context of Ukrainian crisis. She's very much liked abroad. She looks like Boris continuity. And this Tory debate is all about treacherous Sunak versus Boris continuity. But from that perspective, I think that Liz Truss's chances are great. So we will see how it's going to work out. But my feeling is that even if the Parliamentary Conservative Party might have backed Sunak because of his competence, because of his appeal, because of his connection to the one nation conservative values. But when it goes to the Tory membership, the result will be reversed. And if Boris' continuity is to be maintained, Liz Truss will emerge as a leader and a new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. But it is another question whether Liz Truss will be able to beat Starmer, because I'm absolutely sure that once this Tory leadership race is over, you will see on Twitter many sharings that Tories unfit to govern. We have not chosen this lady and we need a new general election. Same thing happened when Boris Johnson assumed the leadership of the Tory party in 2019, and some Labourites saying the same thing, but they were silenced in the clearest possible way by Boris Johnson's grand victory. May I say, at the very end, all of these candidates deserve respect, but all of them cumulatively, all together, wouldn't make a small fraction of the grand persona of Boris Johnson. That's my estimation.
Top-notch analysis as always, Orhan. I appreciate this very much and I look forward for our future meetings.
Thank you very much, Ilham. I was grateful.
That was all for the week. Thank you very much for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.